if things stay afloat, and clearly the season, and you know personally because you were there, it kind of derailed when the unfortunate incident happened with Plexico. It kind of derailed the entire chemistry of your team that led to you guys not getting to the Super Bowl. But if that didn't happen with Plexico, you guys stayed focused and stayed dialed in, would you have won a Super Bowl in 2008?
We would have beat y'all in the Super Bowl.
Huh?
I said we would have beat y'all in that Super Bowl. Because we was the number one seed. There's no way the Arizona Cardinals is coming from Arizona playing in 30-degree weather, 20-degree weather to win an NFC Championship game. That wasn't gonna happen. I think y'all were the closest game that we had throughout that season, and I think we'd have played y'all again in the Super Bowl and beat y'all.
No.
Yeah, money, 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 money. Ain't that funny? I got haters. Yeah, they watching, but I know they love me. Money, 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 money. Ain't that funny? I got haters. Yeah, they watching, but I know they love me. Riding around the city, plastic cup of C-Rock. Bigger and I'm blacker. I am on that Chris Rock.
Ladies and gents, welcome back once again. Yours truly, all things covered. Patrick Peterson, Bryant McFadden. As you guys see on your screen, we got a big time guest for you to enjoy this episode with all of us. New York Giants, stand up. Briefly, War Eagle, stand up. I mean, if you're a fan of physical football being done the right way, this is the episode for you. Brandon Jacobs is our guest. Let's go get fired up, Pat P. I hope you fired up, man. Let me get this guy his proper intro, deserving so. Got to give him his flowers right now. NFL vet, two-time Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants. Also, Southern Illinois, Auburn alum, by the way, of Coffeeville. Like I said, big-time running back Brandon Jacobs joining us here, all things covered. B, how you doing? How you feeling?
Man, life is life, and man, I can't complain, man. Everything is great. Just here being a dad. Just being a dad. And just trying to do the best I can, man. That's it.
No question. And as we see, Pat P, we were talking about, you before you joined us, like, man, I asked Pat, have you ever played against Brandon Jacobs? Because one thing about Mr. Jacobs, boy, he wasn't a normal running back. And like you still got your size. Like you still can run a gap or two right now if you needed to.
Well, I mean, going through and looking at the way they play today, I might be able to go out there and and get a couple series in. You know what I mean? I might not do it the next 3-4 weeks, but I
No question. And speaking of that, man, there's a lot we're going to talk about with you. Thank you once again for joining us. And I like to go ahead and start in the beginning. Going back to the roots, the guy, the environment that created the Super Bowl champion, the All-American in high school. Let's go back to your high school days. Of course, you was an All-American coming out, but you wasn't just a football player. You're a two-sport athlete. You know what I mean? We know about the height, the size, the athleticism, but you also played basketball. What type of b-ball player were you?
Man, I'm put like this. I was a starter. Between the 4 and the 5, pretty good ball skills when it come down to shooting the ball. I had a decent shot and didn't have a whole lot of confidence to take the shot when I needed to. A lot of us kind of we had a star player on our team that ended up going to Georgetown. So, we played our role and then let him kind of just do what he wanted to do. So I was decent. I got recruited to play basketball by a lot of schools that I, till this day, if I go back and think about it now, for some reason, I don't know why Buckins ever called me in Cincinnati when he was there, because Cincinnati was a top-tier basketball program back then when King Martin and all them boys was there.
Yep.
I got recruited by them. I got recruited by UCF. I got recruited by Wyoming, Memphis, Louisiana Tech. Like, I got recruited by a lot of those schools in basketball. But I went on a couple visits, and just walking through the hallways, and these guys that's already there passing by me, they like 6'10", 6'11", and they play 4 and 5. I'm like, well, that's what I play.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if this gonna work for me. Like, this is a disadvantage. I might as well put myself in a situation where I'm gonna be the one with the advantage. So I picked football, man, and I just never turned back.
And talking about the basketball ties, I remember a few months ago you made some headlines in regards to Austin Rivers, NBA vet, that stated his words exactly: "I can take 30 players right now in the NBA and throw them in the NFL." you cannot take 30 NFL players and put them in the NBA. And you felt some type of way about that. And of course, you addressed his statement. When you talk about your history in playing high school, and the same can be said for both of us. I played basketball in high school. Pat P played basketball in high school. And as you stated, a lot of us kind of gravitated to football either because of the height difference or just the physical nature that we wanted to be involved in. But you got recruited by some big time schools.
Yeah.
So what was the reason for you and feeling like, you know what, you need to address Austin Rivers' statement when he just basically said you can throw more NBA players into the NFL compared to the NFL going into the NBA?
30 players. I thought he was absurd for saying that, man. I don't know. It's amazing. Like, the basketball players are athletic, right? I get that. They do run up and down the court, change direction. But they don't have to do that while being hit. That's a different story, to get up off the ground consistently every play and do the same thing. That type of nature mentally, right, was what you got to have. Now, coming in as far as, I don't know what I'm going to go and say, I think Westbrook might be able to go out there and give it a go. He got perfect size to be either safety or be real athletic wide receiver. But that's if he can keep, like, he can catch the ball, he can dribble the ball well, right? But can he have hand-eye, coordination while one of y'all coming at him to take his head off and still catch the ball? Like, can he do that? We don't know, right? I know Anthony Edwards, because I live here in Atlanta. He could have actually played ball. He could have went to college to play football. I'm going to say that now.
Mm-hmm.
But out of them two guys, like, I don't really know a whole lot of them. You might have, a few guys out there that could have played, maybe tight end or something like that. But yeah, you can play tight end and use your height for that. But what happens when you got to block a guy like a DeMarcus Ware or somebody like that? Like, let's talk about every aspect of the position. And I thought Austin Rivers was real disrespectful when he said that. And I know he's probably trying to gain some attention and do all the stuff he's trying to do, but and he came back at, I think James Jones was one they ended up coming at him. All he had to do was talk about money. Yeah, your contract was guaranteed. No, football players' contracts are not guaranteed. So the only thing you have to come back and is say you was a lottery pick, wasted 100%, didn't do nothing. You got money, yes. Kudos to you. Good to see you get a good bit of money, my guy. I'm glad. I hope you save it and do what you need to do. But you didn't deserve it. So let's start there. So I don't think you have the ability, Austin, and I know I'm on this podcast now, but I'm talking to you. You don't have the ability to come out there and play football. Not at all. So I suggest you leave that subject alone, my brother.
The number 30 was something that I was like, wow, that's man, just the mental aspect. And think about this, fellas. There are a lot of NBA players that I think could go out and play football, right? But when you talk about what we have to do to get ready for the season, like, it's 90 degrees outside, we outside running, we outside training every day. And then when you get to training camp, especially when we were in the league early on, Brandon, training camps were different.
Right.
Shoulder pads, we banging. Like, you got backs on backers. You know what I mean? You one-on-one drills, man, goal line drills. Like, that's a toll on the mental aspect as well. So I felt like the number 30 was far-fetched as well. And you got some high-level guys that can do it, that can handle the physical nature of the game of football. But 30, I'm not quite ready to agree with that as well. But Pat P, what you was going to hit on it also?
Now, I was going to say is that I don't think none of them can play, and here's the reason why. As Brandon said, you got to put all the aspect of the game into it. Russell probably, if he plays on the defensive side of the ball, all those other guys are 6'5" and 6'5" and above, so they're going to be on the offensive side of the ball. So how much hitting can they take throughout the course of not only a season, throughout the course of a game? Like, you got whatever safety you can name right now coming downhill, you a big tree out there going up for a pass. Now you're getting chopped in half. You thinking about that now?
Right. And ain't nobody calling no foul. There's not one person.
No.
Foul. 2 shots. That don't go, man. You got to have a certain level of courage. Like,
right.
5, man, like, I was a tall back and I had to get down. And people still say that I ran high, but I protect myself the best way that I could. I couldn't stop some people from getting to my legs sometimes, but to come off the basketball court and talking about coming in there and playing football at a high level like that, man, That's just absurd. I don't know why. I don't know what side of the bed Austin woke up on that day. But I mean,
Yeah,
kudos
it's
to
not
him, man.
happening. It's not happening. But as BMac, we're gonna jump off that subject right there. But as BMac stated in the intro, man, you attended a college, Coffeyville. That's a JUCO. If a lot of people don't know, you was a high school All American. How difficult was it for you to go the JUCO route?
Man, you say that, and I just think about these kids now that they have problems getting recruited because of the transfer portal. I tell them all the time because I work with kids. Think about being the number one player in the country and got to go to junior college.
Mm.
Think about that, right? I went to junior college. I didn't have the best grades. Just my whole and when I tell people, starting at third grade, man, starting at the third grade, my whole career was changed because of third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, not necessarily high school years now, not necessarily, the middle school years.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth grade, those grades were something that changed my life because I was consistently getting put out of school for fighting and just had a quick temper, like doing all this other stuff. And I would get expelled from school. I would miss 20 days of school in the state of Louisiana. If you miss 20 days of school, they hold you back. So I was consistently
Mm.
back because I was missing. I was hitting that 20-day mark. So in
Mm.
order to catch me up on to get me back, they put me in special ed. Now, I wasn't no dummy by no stretch of imagination, but they put me in there to catch me up. So they caught me up one grade behind where I was supposed to be. I was supposed to graduate in 2000, but I ended up graduating in 2001. But because they put me there, that put me behind the eight ball to be able to qualify to go to a Division I school. I'm in special ed. They're not gonna take. I'm playing checkers all day and Connect Four. I don't know how to take no damn ACT test. Like none of that.
Right.
But I took it and I thought I did pretty good. I made a 17 on it. But I had to go to junior college for that, and just was behind the eight ball. I went there, played. I went there. I was behind a guy by the name of Muhammad Abdul Qadir. It was really good. He was another junior college All-American. Well, coming into my freshman year, he ended up getting hurt. He ended up getting hurt. Now I don't want to be there. I got all these other schools. I had committed to Miami out of high school. Butch was there, but Butch ended up going to Cleveland. So I
Yep.
committed and went to Auburn. So I decommitted there, and Auburn ended up placing me in junior college. That's
Oh.
get that done.
Okay.
A lot of other schools fell off of me. I had a few schools that stayed on me. I was being recruited by everybody, but only 3 or 4 schools in the end, when they found out I wasn't going to be eligible, they fell off. They went back and they went to go look for another guy that probably, to offer something like I was, right? So I did that and went to junior college, man. It was the worst thing ever for me, but I gained a lot of brothers, a lot of teammates, coaches. If I can go back to anywhere in my career, it's probably be junior college because you're taking a bunch of at-risk kids from all over the country and putting them all together, and we all meshed pretty well, man. Now, we had our fights and stuff like that because we all thought we was from the hood and representing your hood from here. Just an at-risk kid, like you guys know. So, I did that. I ended up playing as a freshman. I didn't start till Muhammad went down. I had to stay there 2 years. I played 2 seasons there. So my sophomore year coming in, I led the nation in rushing, the number 1 junior college player again in the country. Coming out, ended up going to Auburn, and the rest was history, man. But junior college it wasn't for the weak back then. You go to junior college. It's a grind out. It's a grind. They got say about 35 out-of-staters on campus that's on the football team. They only keeping 12.
Mm.
Only keeping 12, right? And it's 55 on the roster. 12 out-of-staters, right? And the rest was from Kansas.
Wow.
Those guys in-state, they had more opportunity,
Right.
But they had to be very strategic with their 12 out-of-staters on where you want to put them on, what side of the ball. You do like offense barely got any of the out-of-staters. We got them at receiver. We might have 1 or 2 linemen, running back, and that's probably four guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the other 8 was on defense. That's where you want to put you want to go to Florida. You want to go get you some guys with some speed. You want to come out of Louisiana. You want to get you some big, strong guys out of Texas and stuff like that. So they kind of put the teams together like that. But we had a lot of guys on campus that did make it. They didn't get sent home. They just redshirted them. So maybe maybe you'll make it next year. That'll only give them 1 year to play and 3 years to go to the Division I school wherever they would have chose. It was a grind out, man. Like it was a grind out. It's something a lot of these kids like today they can't take it. So Kansas now have 50 out of staters.
Man.
50 and I think it's 88 like 85 to 88 players like on the team with 50 of them being out of staters. So it's a little bit easier now than it was then. But man, you talking about grinding out, and that's when the fights happen with a lot of these kids from these different communities, from these different places. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. You start to you get in a few fights, but then you come back to it, mesh, and then y'all good. But it was just that people got their careers on the line right here. Like my college playing days are on the line. I got to be able to make this 12, and it was to see some guys just quit and give up that didn't make the 12. That was coming from Florida as the number 2, number 3 player in the state. And they come to junior college and they don't make the top 12 on the team as far as out of staters, and they just quit. It was tough to see a lot of them quit and walk away that had real ability to go to the next level.
Yeah.
Man, and so what was the one? Well, you kind of hit on it, but if you don't mind, kind of clearing it up for us a little bit better, what was the one thing that you appreciated the most about your JUCO experience?
Pappy, it taught me how to move along with nothing. Right?
Okay.
It taught me how to articulate myself in certain settings with different kinds of people, right? And we didn't have no scholarship checks. We didn't have none of that. They paid for your room and board and your books, right? We weren't getting no scholarship checks coming through. My mom and my auntie had to send me money. I had a calling card. I had to get on the phone and press 10 numbers and then press.
I remember them calling cards.
Yeah, it was them thugging
Yes,
out.
sir.
It was them
Yeah.
thugging. And where nobody got cars. You got a couple of these guys from Kansas that drove 2 hours from Kansas City. They're gonna play it. You get close with them. They take you to the store. You go buy your noodles and stuff like that, man. So I was lucky enough to have a roommate that was from Kansas, who was Mexican. His mom used to make these burritos from scratch. She used to drive 6 hours every other weekend and bring them to him. It's not a long handle spoon type living, man. This is like you really got to learn how to get by with nothing. You really do.
Right.
Like that 99-cent burger from Burger King really got to hold you over. They got to hold you over. Yeah, the cafeteria is open on weekends, but breakfast and that's in the morning. Then at later on at 6, the lunch. I mean, at dinner you ain't got nothing at lunch, and you really got to thug it out, man, and make it do what it do. So I appreciate the time when I had to do that because I never was hungry, but I always found a way to eat. I appreciate my family for having my back, but those are the times in junior college, man, when life was simple, man. You ain't got to worry about nobody on your back because they want something from you. You don't have nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your friendships and your relationships that you had with people were genuine. So that's what I most appreciated about it.
Yeah, well said, well said. And JUCO life, I don't know how it is now, but I had a few boys that went the JUCO route as well. And sometimes your high school situation was a little bit better than the JUCO situation. So I know exactly what you're talking about based on some of my past relationships with some of the guys that went JUCO as well. You talked about going to Auburn when you left Coffeyville. When you went to Auburn, for our viewers that don't know your story and don't know about the history with Auburn while you were there, you were in the backfield with 2 other prolific running backs, Cadillac Williams, Ronnie Brown. Both guys, of course, we were all in the same draft. I was in the 05 draft as well. Both of those guys went top 5 in the first round. So I want to ask you this question, and I don't want you to be biased. I know you was only there for about a year or so at Auburn, right? Yeah. But when you talk about the 3 names that I just mentioned, you, Cadillac, Ronnie, in the SEC, because the SEC has been known to be a running back driven conference, would you consider you guys to be the best trio of backs?
Oh, no question.
Ever in the SEC?
It ain't close. Ever in the history.
You didn't even think about it?
In the history of college football. You understand? The history of college football, the best trio. Now, I got scraps. I played when we was blowing people out. Right? Other than Mississippi they put me in the game. I had 182 yards rushing, and Cadillac had 6 touchdowns. Like so that that was a game that and I have no touchdowns, but I had 180. But
Yep.
that was a game that they let me work. They let me get jiggy with it in that game, but that was the only one. It was a close game, but we ended up winning the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I say the best college football trio are back. Not even not just the SEC. I'm talking about the whole college football, man. And you had some guys over at Arkansas, but trio is that's well, I guess Arkansas had a trio. They had
Yeah, because they had Felix Jones, Darren McFadden, Peyton Hillis,
Peyton
right?
Hill.
They're after us, you know what I mean? And then I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Georgia's trio with Todd Gurley, Sony Michel, and Nick Chubb. They were freshmen. I think Todd was a junior, Nick Chubb and Sony was freshmen, but they were in the backfield as well. And for our viewers that are watching us, hit us in the comment section for if there's a trio that we're mentioning. But I just wanted to get your opinion about it because
I forgot about the Georgia boys.
yeah. So Sony and Nick was freshmen, and Todd Gurley was there as well. So that's a heck of a trio. But I had to, when I was thinking about this question, I wanted to get your opinion because I already kind of felt like I knew where you were going. And Pat P, I was asking Brandon about the trio of backs that he was a part of while at Auburn. Ronnie Brown, Cadillac Williams, and himself. Is that what he considered that to be the best trio of backs in the SEC? He said, "Scratch that." The best trio of backs in the history of college football.
I heard.
And you know me, Pat, I'm a historian of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me to try to argue against my guy. Like Cadillac was listen.
Yeah.
Cadillac at Auburn.
A dog.
He was tough.
He was dog.
Originally that's why I ended up leaving Auburn because he had such a good year. His that was his first year staying healthy. His junior year.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he'd leave. He was, he was projected to be a top 10 pick that year.
He came back.
Huh?
And he came back, right? He came
back. Me, I'm sitting there talking to Ronnie like, man, I want him to leave, but if he don't leave, I'm gonna have to transfer. Like, I have no, but the transfer, but he didn't leave, so I got up out of that because I know I was with the short end of the stick because they both were there before me, and they were good guys, both were great teammates, super coachable. It had no reason not to not play them because our team, the way our team was set up, I wasn't gonna make us not 8-5. I wasn't gonna add another win or two to our belt, right? So they're like, well, we ain't gonna mess up our stuff because it really might not make no difference. So they just left it the way it was, and I just walked up out of there, man.
Yeah, so, Ronnie Brown was a dog too. Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah. So what made you decide to transfer to Auburn then?
Because they placed me, man. Like every other team.
Gotcha. So you had some loyalty there.
I'm in a situation where I can further where I can go get eligible to play Division I ball because I didn't have to go to junior college. I had to redo 4 years of high school in like the matter of 6 months.
Wow. At JUCO.
I was in junior college, but I did it. I went to Assumption High School in Louisiana, right? But my high school diploma is from Phil Kennan High School in Coffeyville, Kansas. So I went to Kansas after my basketball season was over with. Participated in spring ball like the kids are doing now. I participated in spring ball, and then I was in high school. I was a high school student living on college campus. So I had to go and I had to do 4 years of school in a matter of 6 months to even be eligible to play junior college ball. To get that far, right? So I got that done. Miss Betty and Miss Delma, Peyton, them people, like, they helped me tremendously. I never forget them. I would never, ever in life forget those two ladies. So they helped me. They tutored me. They got me through it. Like we would be up in the computer lab at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, then trying to study on that big old desktop thing that we used to have in the library. Man, it was crazy. Like, they bust their butts for me to be eligible, and I followed their lead, and I got it done. But Auburn placed me there, and they gave me opportunities. I know Ronnie and Cadillac was there, right? And I had other options to go to school, but in none of these schools, y'all just dipped up off of me when I wasn't gonna be eligible. So I ain't really tripping about going to Nebraska or Washington or or Oklahoma, none of them schools, like all of them started coming there. LSU even came to get me, and that's why I really wanted to go out of high school. But Nick Saban wanted me to play defensive end, so I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do that. So, but really wanted to go though, and I'm like, okay, I know they got the 2 running backs over there at Auburn, but because they helped me, give me a opportunity, I'm gonna go over here and try to beat them out. And if it don't work, I'll have to go on to my next move. But I'm not going to not go to Auburn, because they got the. So I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah, gotcha.
I knew
Gotcha.
what to do. Like,
And I do.
I would be sitting here telling a lie if I said, well, I know, I thought I would be. Nah, I knew exactly what was there. But they helped me get eligible, so I felt like I at least owed them one of my 2 years I had left.
So, like you said, Nick Saban wanted you to play DN. So, was there an option or a thought in your mind to a position change at the University of Auburn?
None at all. I tried. I take it back. So that junior season at Auburn, we're getting ready to play in the bowl game against Wisconsin. So they tell me, Brandon, why don't you go and try to play outside linebacker? I say, outside linebacker? I ain't playing outside linebacker. I'm not doing that. I play running back. When I'm playing ball in the SEC, let me try to go and make it do what it do. Right? So I go and I go play in the bowl practices. I go play linebacker. So we coming down to it, and we practicing, get out there and team. And Courtney Taylor, wide receiver for us, caught the ball on the slant. I don't know how to practice as a defensive player. I ain't did no tackling drills. I ain't did nothing. I ain't did none of that. Man, I took Courtney head off.
In bowl practice.
And both, like I was like, they were like, yo. I'm like, I was just trying to get the ball down. Like, my eyes is on the ball, and I'm trying to keep him from catching the ball.
Yep.
Right? But it was that close and that fast. I ended up hitting him. So, and I did that. So I did that for like 2 or 3 days. Then they wanted me to try tight end. I said absolutely not, because I couldn't see myself blocking these guys. So at the end of the day, man, I appreciate that. But I think I'm gonna move on. Like, okay, well, Coach Tuberville told me I never played football in the NFL being that height.
Yeah.
He said, you would never play running back in the NFL.
Who said that?
Coach Tuberville, Tommy Tuberville, was the head coach at Auburn. He wanted me to do what he wanted me to do. He didn't want me to. So he figured if he downplayed my talents and ability, that I would listen to him, because he was in a place who was supposed to have known what he was talking about. So I was just like, that's fine. Then he ended up telling me he only recruited me so nobody else got me. Like, wow. Like, I wanted to jump across his desk, like, okay. And he told me this. He said, also, you don't want to burn a bridge, when you leave school. I said, I don't care about you, because I got a boat. And the next time I talked to him was the Blindside premiere. I'm in the league a few years at this time. I'm a starting running back. I got a nice contract. You know what I'm saying? I'm good to go. I had to win a Super Bowl. I see him at the stop me and said, I've been following your career. I'm really proud of you. Yeah, something you said I would never do. Get out of my face. Me and my wife, like, we just walked on by. Like, yeah, all right, cool.
Wow.
Walked on by though. So
man. So the crazy part for me in hearing that story about Coach Tuberville telling you would never play running back in the National Football League at that height was that he drafted you. He recruited you to play running back. Because when he recruited you out of high school, what you was? You was 6 foot at the time? Or you was 6'1"? What?
I was what you looking at now, B.
6'4", 6'5", right?
I was 6'4" at the end of my freshman year, 238 pounds, bro, in high school. So I kept that height all the way through high school. He knew what he was getting. He just wanted to, like you said, he recruited me so he recruited me so he wouldn't have to play against me.
Because you stated you wanted to go to Miami, but of course you also wanted to go to your in-state school in LSU as well.
I wanted to go to LSU.
LSU.
And as I think about the whole LSU story now, and if I think about the guys that went to LSU and changed position and their draft status on where they got drafted at, Nick Saban knows what the hell he's doing, man. He was gonna try to change him to defensive end. Mike Clayton told me that. He was like, "Hey man,
Mm-hmm.
don't come in," because Mike went to LSU as a quarterback, a triple option quarterback from Christian Life. Coach Saban made him a wide receiver.
Wide
He
receiver.
went 15 overall,
He
right?
did.
Yeah.
Marcus Spears was a tight end.
Yeah, tight end.
He was a tight end. Saban moved him to defensive end. He went first round. Corey Webster went to LSU as a quarterback, a read option quarterback. He went there and Saban moved him to DB. He went second round. So
Yes, he no talent.
he knows
Yeah,
him.
he definitely no
I
talent.
thought about that. Like, man, I wonder if I could have went and played defensive end at LSU. Could I've been the first round pick as well? I don't doubt that I probably could have been. I think I could have been, but Saban he knows how to evaluate talent, man.
Yeah.
If I was still coaching at Alabama, my son would be going to Alabama. Like, I'm talking about not even close.
Yeah.
Right. And well,
Would be gone.
right.
Saban, I love Saban, man. Good coach. And, he told my son about the time he recruited me. He said, listen, I lost your dad. I can't lose you too. But then he retired.
He retired. Yeah.
Week, 3 or 4, 5 weeks after that. I'm like,
Wow.
this man is, but that's why I ended up picking Auburn, man. It kind of came out of a default, and they kind of made me, throughout the recruiting process, made me feel good about things. So, my trip was good. My official visit was really good there, and I was like, all right, then I'll just go to Auburn. They weren't talking about nothing else but running back, So went
Yeah.
to Auburn, yeah, Ronnie and Cadillac there, but so they figured this man got a lot of ability. We don't want to waste him as a third string quarterback with that type of talent. Let's do something. At that time,
Right.
my mind isn't working like that. My mind isn't thinking like, man, that's BS. They want me to come and do this. I'm gonna leave, and that's what I ended up doing. But as a grown man, right now, that probably would have been the best bet for me was to probably end up going to LSU and playing defensive end,
Yeah.
or saying, you know what, I don't want to play defensive end. Let me try to. I mean, I don't want to play outside linebacker. Let me try DN.
Mm.
You
Right.
know,
Well,
and with my emotions and just transferred.
yeah. Well, and speaking of our talent, you had the opportunity to go where a lot of the guys who dream of the moment of making it to the NFL, and that's the combine, the 2005 combine. You measured at 6'4", 267 pounds, and you ran a 4.5. How did that happen, first of all? Being that big, that tall, and running a 4.5, and were you surprised or disappointed about your 4.5?
I was disappointed in my 4.5 Pat P. I was
Yeah.
disappointed. Oh man, because listen, let me tell you, because the leading up time I was training in Santa Ana, California.
Hmm.
You know, with a guy, Mr. Olympian. Like he was making us do all kinds of different stuff. Like I ran throughout my time training with him. I ran 4.5, 4.3s, two or
Mm.
three, four, 4.4s. I mean, I had never ran a 4.5 the whole time through training. I was a
Mm.
4.36, 4.41, 4.42. That's what I was doing. So when I got to the combine and I ran a 4.5, I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed. I like went back to my room. I cried because I figured that I had to be different coming from a small school. I
Yeah.
had to be different. I had to wow these scouts. I had to do this. I had to do that. And from what I had been running through training, I felt like I kind of let myself down. So I was stressed out the whole time. My workouts was good. Caught the ball well. I had, change of direction in the drills was good. My 20-yard shot, I did everything. Like everything was up at the top 5 of the running backs in that draft with J.J. Arrington, Cedric Benson, Cadillac Williams, Ronnie Brown, Frank Gore. Like man, that was Darren Sproles. Like bro, that was a draft. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Marion Barber. The boy was at T.A. That was T.A. McClendon, like who was running up like he rushed for 2,000 yards at NC State.
NC State. Yeah.
Yeah,
War number 44.
Elvin Pyramid from Virginia. Like we had some guys that you turn on the TV on Saturdays and be like, this man just rushed for 175 with 3 touchdowns with 14 carries. Those were the
Right.
type of guys that were in the draft, that year. So, you know, I was up at the top tier of the draft as far as all of my numbers, but my weight, I was way bigger than all of them. So, I mean, I guess as I look at it now, it was probably super impressive, but I was
Yeah.
disappointed at the time, man.
Well, I tell you this much: if you would have ran what you were running when you were training the Giants, you wouldn't have played for the Giants.
No.
You happen to play for the Giants?
No, somebody else would. Yeah, and you wouldn't have been available in the fourth round.
I
So
think I could agree with you, and I think that's
yeah,
so disappointed. I wanted to run that. I wanted to run that 4.38. You know what I'm saying? That 4.40. I wanted to go to the combine and run that.
yeah.
And I tried to make an excuse so I get a third chance because I felt like my second one, it wasn't as good. But I don't know, man. I was just so disappointed, man. I was so sad. I was
Shoot.
up till about I
So,
don't know.
Brent, so did you guys have a pro day back in 2005?
Yep, I had a pro day. Went to
So
Southern.
did you run it again at pro day, or you was like, the hell with it?
I ran a 4.45 in pro day, but
Okay,
it
gotcha.
held time and they didn't
Yeah,
really
so they're gonna take
Gotcha.
more of the combine than anything. That's
Right.
rain and it was windy out there. They wanted because we had an indoor track. They asked us if we wanted. They asked me if I wanted. They was only there to see me, right?
yeah.
So they was asking, do I want to run on the track? And I kind of hit them with the, nah, it's gonna be raining on Sunday sometimes. It's gonna be gloomy on Sunday sometimes. I'm gonna run outside. They was like, they started writing down stuff like this guy. So I went outside. I ran the 4.4. I did everything great. All my combine stuff. I beat all of my combine stuff at my pro day. You know,
Gotcha.
But they
uh,
took more of the combine because it was at the combine.
you
Yeah.
Hey,
know, and
and you
I
go
had.
ahead.
I'm gonna add this to a part of it, and it's gonna wow y'all. So get ready, right? I go to my pro day. The Cincinnati Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Denver Broncos, and I think it was the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
And I had all 32 teams at my pro day, right? They came to the pro day and said, hey, everything you're doing is great. We love the athletic ability. We think you're great, but we want to see you work out as a tight end.
Mm.
I say to them, that was after my workout now. This was after my running back workout.
Yeah.
I said to them three teams, I said, I'm going to work out as a tight end, for y'all, just to prove to y'all that I'm different. I'm just playing at this small school, but I'm different. If I was at a bigger school, I'd be a first-round draft pick, and I know, right? So I'm different. So I'm gonna work out as a tight end for y'all. But if y'all think about drafting me as a tight end, save the phone call because I'm playing running back. And I worked out for him.
Uh-oh.
And I killed it.
Uh-huh.
I was caught the ball good, right? And they were like, "Man, this kid can really he can really do a whole lot." But I told him I'm not playing tight end.
Yeah, you ain't playing no tight end.
Right.
I'm trying to achieve my goals and make my dream come true by playing in the NFL. And I told these people, if you think about playing me as anything else but a running back, don't call me on draft.
Don't call me.
Don't call me.
Don't call me.
They listen to you. They won't beat
Hit it
it.
with the Rich Paul.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Southern Illinois. I ain't talking about from no powerhouse school who rushed for 2,000 yards. Man, I'm talking about from Southern Illinois. I told these people, don't call me because I'm
Yeah.
running back.
They listen to you. I got a question. You kind of hit on this answer already, but I want to break it down. You were in the fourth round. You got drafted in the fourth round. You mentioned a few names already, but do you remember how many running backs were drafted before you? And do you remember the names? Because I was in that draft as well, so a lot of these names resonate to me because we all were in college football around the same time. So, do you remember how many were drafted before you in the names?
7 of them
Huh?
were drafted before me.
You said 7?
7 of them.
All right, can you name them?
So let me go. Let me say, I think it was 7 of them. I think so Ronnie went to.
Hold on, before I think hold on. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you how many was because I got it here. 10 was drafted before you.
Okay, so 10 of them. Woo.
Yeah.
That's a lot of names, though. I
Yeah.
don't know. You got it. You got to be.
But I think I ended up playing throughout my career. I think I ended up playing, playing myself into top 2 or 3 running back like out of that class. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, with Frank Gore at the top, playing 14 years he did.
Yep.
You know,
So Frank is one.
hmm?
Frank Gore is one.
Frank. So you got Ronnie Brown, you got Cadillac Williams, you got
Yep. Uh-huh.
right? Frank Gore,
Yep.
Marion Barber.
Yep.
This is gonna be unbelievable. This is gonna be unbelievable that I'm about to say this, but Maurice Claret was one of them.
Yep.
J.J. Arrington.
Yep.
Uh,
Seven.
who else
You got
was
three more.
Ryan Moats? I'm saying.
Yep.
Uh, who else was it, man? I can't figure out.
You got two.
Huh?
You got two of them.
I think one of your teammates. I think it was. I think.
He transferred, though. He was one of my teammates. He transferred. Huh?
Was it Theatric Face on?
No. Seatric went to Florida. Seatric was after
Oh
you.
yeah, I thought he went to Florida State.
But the guy you thinking about was at Florida State. He transferred, went to another university, got drafted in the second round.
I can't figure it out.
Eric Shelton.
Eric Sheldon, the big back.
The big back. Yep.
Yeah, he went to
Louisville.
Louisville. Yeah, he went to
Yep.
Louisville.
And
Yeah.
you got one more.
Yeah, man. So
It's one more. You're missing one name. He went to Oklahoma State, I think it is.
Oklahoma State.
I think he got drafted by Green Bay. I think he might have won the third round. Was he the third round? Early fourth? Varan Morrissey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember them. Yeah, so yeah, man. So 10 running backs.
Yep.
10 running backs, man. So I mean, I was there. I just wanted to get drafted, but I thought I was good enough to go the first day because you remember back then that they did the first day was the first, the second, third round.
Mm-hmm. All on Saturday.
Yes. Maurice Claret was the last running back taken on the first day. I
Yep.
was upset. I was so upset because I thought I was way better than him. I thought I was way better than him. I knew he did all that stuff at Ohio State, big old Power 5 school. Yeah, this, that, and the third. But he had gotten so much trouble and had done so much things, and they drafted. I think he went to Denver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he
Yeah.
went to Denver.
Yeah, sure did.
But I guess if I'd have went as a tight end at Denver, probably would have took me in that. But yeah, he went to Denver, man, and I'm like, I was sad. I went to sleep. Didn't really care no more at that point. Just wanted to know where I was gonna be, right?
Yeah.
So the draft come on the next day. You got I think it was the fourth round that just started.
Mm-hmm.
I went 110. I went 110 to the Giants. Now a team who I never talked to throughout the process. I never spoke to the New York Giants throughout the process. They call. And I'm trying not to have the phone lines up, I'm trying not to have the phone lines tied up and stuff like that. So I tell people stay on the phone. This phone call coming from New Jersey. I'm like, man, ain't no NFL team in New Jersey. Don't answer that phone because somebody can try to call. At the same time, these people calling, man. So don't answer the phone. Not knowing back then that you answer the phone and get them off the phone like real quick, the phone lines open up. But while it's ringing for 10, 12 seconds, 15 seconds, nobody else could get in.
Yep.
But so pick up the phone. I mean, they call, nobody answered. They call back. We answer the phone. It was Ernie Corsi from the Giants. Hey, this is Ernie Corsi, general manager with with the New York Giants. We're interested in drafting you. Like, how you feel about being a Giant? I was like, man, let's rock and roll. Let's go. I'm already ready. Like, let's go. My bags are packed. I'm ready to go. Like, when do we report? So they was excited about that, and I kind of felt in that particular draft for the Giants draft class, I kind of felt elite, and I'm gonna tell you why. They drafted Eli the year before, and they gave away all their picks to San Diego to be that trade with Phillip Rivers. Eli didn't want to play for them, so the Giants gave away 3 of their draft picks.
Yeah, they didn't even have a first round there in 05. The Chargers had 2, yeah.
It was only 4 people in the draft. It was only 4 people in that Giants draft class. And I think another one of your teammates was there, Eric.
Eric Moore.
Eric Moore. He
Yep.
got hurt. But so I felt among the elite for the Giants. We have 4 draft picks, and they made me one of them. So that kind of made me feel good about some things again. So I just got to work, man, and the rest was history.
Yeah, so that sounds like a blessing in disguise because, like you said, you feel, um, grateful for the Giants, letting you be a part of those 4 draft picks that they end up picking. So throughout the course of that 2005 season, what was your welcome to the NFL moment?
I didn't have one, man. I destroyed everybody in the preseason.
Mm,
Wouldn't They was afraid to tackles and do stuff like that. I saw that. I didn't have that. Not even in practice. I went with it. I think I had a lot of my teammates were like, man. So that gave me the confidence I needed. Like, man, ain't nobody else gonna be able to do no, like with me either. I didn't. I didn't have that come to welcome to the NFL because I felt like I was a dog, and I felt like I fit among any group of players, no matter how elite they are. I felt like I belong. You know what I mean? So I didn't really have that whole like welcome to the NFL. Now, when it came time to learning the concepts, with being taught in college, and that's more my welcome that I had then.
mm.
Yeah.
So it was like, welcome to the NFL. Yeah, you got to do blitz pickup. You ain't just getting the ball. You got to catch passes. You got to do all that. So
Right.
that was my welcome to the NFL moment.
Because I'm trying to think about it. Like when you was in the league, what other backs was taller than 6'4"? Because now that I think about it, you was Derrick Henry before Derrick Henry. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So what other backs that you can think of in your playing days that measured up, to your statue
Eric
in a sense or came close?
Eric Shelton in my draft class was the only one back then who was in my draft anyway. But throughout the NFL though, they didn't have any.
Yeah.
The only other one I might throw out,
It's
Brandon,
Eddie
is probably
George,
Larry Johnson with Kansas
Larry
City was
Johnson.
pretty
Yeah,
tall.
yep. The
Sean Alexander in Seattle was probably about 6', 6'1".
mm-hmm.
But
Eddie
no
was
one close
like
was
6'2", right?
who that?
Eddie George.
Eddie George was 6'3",
Yeah, yeah,
240. 6'3",
Yeah,
240. He was
yeah.
before.
yeah,
And I
He was
kind of
before you. Okay, he was before you.
came after him.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. And
And
and and talking about
there wasn't really no big guys though throughohout my era that came.
no,
But
Gotcha.
nah.
That's
Hey,
what I
we didn't
thought.
want to have more than you.
yeah,
What you mean? Hey, that crack replaced Pat P playing against a guy like
Oh
Brandon
man,
Jacobs. That receiver come in, they trying to make the cornerback tackle on the
listen,
perimeter. Boy,
man,
you better
help,
get low, protect
yeah.
yourself.
Look.
help.
Look. We'll send that wide receiver like when we run it, like we'll send the wide receiver to go block the safety.
Yep,
Right.
crack replaced.
To go block the safety, so therefore that corner got to keep contained. I'm like, he not going.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. You trying
Not
to
for
make
60
a
minutes.
decision, man. Shoot your shot, and hopefully, if you
Yeah,
miss, make them go inside. Don't let them break contain, get outside, boy.
yeah.
Hey, you talked about your rookie campaign not really, doing a lot in meaningful ball games. Tiki Barber retires. 2007, you become the guy. You become the guy. You eclipse 1,000 yards that season en route to winning a Super Bowl. How surreal was that season for you individually speaking, becoming the guy for the New York Football Giants in the media capital of the world? Your production helped lead to a championship for the organization.
It felt phenomenal, man. Like winning the Super Bowl and for New York City, nothing like it. I respect everyone else that won, but winning there is different,
Yeah.
you know. But me being a part of it, helping my team, I got a 4th-and-1 that was on the game. It was on the line. I got a 4th-and-1. I converted that, which was very tight. It was just a phenomenal feeling, man. Like all the way up through that whole playoff run, we beat every team that beat us throughout the playoffs. We started off with Tampa Bay. We didn't play Tampa Bay during the season. They won the NFC South
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and NFC East. They beat us twice. I'm talking about beat us good. Wasn't close. It wasn't close. It wasn't a debate at all. Like no call or nothing made to change it again. None of that. It was clearly a 13 to 14 point victory both times. Wasn't no the 5 minutes in the game left. They won. It was over with. So we go to Dallas. Like, man, these jokers done beat us twice. Ain't no way they're gonna three times go beat them in Dallas. They 13-3. They're the number one team in the league. They're the number two team in the league, number one in the conference. So they get the first one. But we go there, beat a divisional foe in Dallas. After that, just beat us twice was probably the greatest win through the whole playoffs for me.
Mm.
Mm.
But like being a part of that was special, man. Like it was special, man. My teammates, we laid it on the line. Strahan, he ended up retiring after that season. We sent them off to the media world. Happy had a chance to get one because he played in one in 2000 with the Giants when they played the Baltimore Ravens and got blew out.
Yep.
Yeah.
He didn't have a chance to get him a Super Bowl until then. So man, it was like it was great. I'm a starter. I'm the man at running back, and we go win the Super Bowl. It's just different.
Yeah, I bet that does hit different. When 2010, you had the opportunity to win another Super Bowl, go on another Super Bowl run. Which championship was more memorable for you?
Oh man, I gotta say because of so many different things surrounding the first one, I gotta go with the first one because the first one was the first one, obviously. But we went through beat Green Bay in the NFC Championship game. They came to Jersey and beat us 38-10 that same year. We go beat them in the NFC Championship game at negative 26 degrees, right? Well, like I said, we beat Dallas, but the Super Bowl we happened to go play against the undefeated Patriots team that nobody had beat. Only
Yeah.
one game. It was only one game that that they played in that was controversial, and they played against the Baltimore Ravens like that year. They had some kind of controversial uh, call or something that ended up giving them the game. But other than that, nobody came close to them, and we went and beat them in the Super Bowl. Super special, man. So
Yeah.
I think that's by far my favorite.
All right, Brandon, let's transition. I got a two-part question for you, and it's about your current New York Giants. My first part of the question is, do you think it was smart not to sign Saquon back, and how much do you believe in Daniel Jones?
Okay, so with Saquon Barkley, I'm gonna say, I love Saquon, right? And I knew the Giants wasn't gonna bring him back, and I think it was smart that they didn't bring him back because we needed so many other pieces on the
Mm.
team to kind of get us over the hump. But this is a fairly new, I guess, offense, that we could say because now you don't have the leader in Saquon Barkley, right? You go ahead and you pay Daniel Jones 160 million, right? You go ahead and you do that. But now you don't have a legit running game that we know of, right? Because none of the guys in there are proven. We got some pretty good talent, ability, and so the guys that we have, but nothing is proven. So now you got to put so much more on Daniel Jones, and is Daniel Jones really ready for that load? I like Daniel Jones because he gives the Giants a little different. I think Daniel Jones plays in his head a little bit more than I think you worry about a little bit more what everyone else says about him. Uh,
Mm.
I think he should go out and just play the game. They drafted him number 6 overall, so I'm not sure if he believes in himself as much as he should. But I do think that Daniel Jones has a great deal of talent, and I think that he can be something that we all want him as Giants fans to be, right? But
Mm.
I would say it was good not to bring Saquon back, not because he's not good enough, just because we needed to free up some money to be able to make some moves after doing a stupid deal, giving Kenny Galladay all the money that we gave him, and that ended up killing us down. That's still killing us now. So we couldn't afford to bring Saquon back, even if they really wanted to, because they had so much money tied up in Galladay.
Oh, wait a
Because
minute.
yeah, they had money tied up in Holiday as well, but they signed Daniel Jones first.
They did. They signed Daniel Jones.
And you didn't really answer
Answer, did you
Patrick's question.
believe
Do
in
you?
Daniel Jones?
Well, so, okay. So let me get to that then. If I got the checkbook in my hand, I'm gonna take Saquon Barkley first. I'm gonna give Saquon
Okay.
first because he takes so much of the pressure off of Daniel Jones by having a guy he can hit 5-6 yard passes as outlets. Having the guy he can turn the hand the ball to. Right, that guy's touching the ball more than anybody on defense. I mean, on offense, right? So I'm definitely going to pay Saquon Barkley first, and I'm definitely going to try to still trying to seal up Daniel Jones, but not with 160 million. He still got to prove himself.
Hey man, I will tell you this, and I had the opportunity to play against Daniel Jones a couple times. Ain't nothing impressive about him to us as a defense. Like he's big and strong. He haven't really shown us any like arm talent, like crazy arm talent. He's shown the inability to read defense quickly, to get the ball out quickly. And I just think he just have a problem dissecting, you know, the 11 guys on the opposite side of the ball. I think his process is a little bit too slow for him to excel as a great NFL quarterback. Like he has talent, like he have all the measurables, but it's just not coming together on the football field.
And I think I'm looking at the measurables is why I'm a fan
Right.
of the measurables. But like you said, I'm not in the locker room, with him. I can't see him dissect something like I used to see Eli say, okay,
Right.
we're gonna do this. All right. If you're gonna do this, hey, I want you to run this route instead. I want you to put him out the way so we can open up this back door.
Yeah.
Right? So Eli had that. I had a chance to see that with Eli. I don't know if Daniel Jones had that or not because I didn't play with him, but just off measurables, just off the size and physical ability, what I'm going off of.
Gotcha.
And I'll say this too, real quick before we transition to the superlative part. Daniel Jones, in my opinion, was a product of being overdrafted.
Yes.
I felt like getting drafted at 6 was more about a need for the Giants than the overall player. You know what I mean? So now when you get drafted in a spot, especially when you play the quarterback position, there's a lot of expectations.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go top 10, they want you to deliver, especially there in New York. So yeah, Pat, you talked about he hasn't really shown flashes of being a really consistent, stable quarterback, but you draft him at 6, then you were kind of forced to pay him when he wasn't really deserving of seeing the money that you were giving him, but because of the need, the position.
I don't really think they was forced to pay him because I can't tell you what the backup records are. The backup records are better than his. So
I mean, last year,
what you mean
Tommy
that they was
DeVito
forced?
and Tyrod Taylor did a pretty good job.
That's what I'm saying. So what do you mean that they was forced to pay him? No, they wasn't.
Well, this is what I mean when I say that. Say this. When you draft a quarterback top 10, you guys know about when it comes to the business side of things with NFL organizations. If they don't get to that second contract, somebody is on the hook for that. That's basically like a bust when you talk about drafting the quarterback anywhere in the top 10 and you don't you don't get to the 5th year option or you don't pay them. So for the Giants, it's like, let's be patient. Because you know how it is with quarterbacks. They have more, some organizations have a little more patience for them. And also too, that look at the quarterback position now. You got guys getting record-breaking deals that are not, their play doesn't say they should get record-breaking deals. The quarterback is the only position in the National Football League where you can kind of be average, but still get a record-breaking deal.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you can see it now. I mean, Jacksonville made it to the playoffs. How many years with Trevor Lawrence?
Just once. Just once.
You see what
his second year? Yeah.
What they just gave him?
55 a year?
I'm not saying he's not deserving of it, but he just got a crazy.
Yeah, he got 55 per year. I don't know what the language is long term, but per year he's getting 55. Like you said, Daniel Jones got 40 million 2 years ago. He got 40 million per year, throwing 18 touchdowns or 15, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I feel like the Giants kind of overdrafted Daniel Jones, and now they're trying to be patient and give him the opportunity to show, you know what, he's coming along. But I'll say this: if he don't live up to the billing this year,
it's over with.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how his contract is constructed, but I kind of got there on the first 2 years of it.
Yeah,
first 2 years of his contract is guaranteed, and
I don't think he has any more guaranteed money after this year.
Right. I don't think he does.
They giving him the keys. No more excuses. If he don't deliver, it's safe to say the Giants might be looking elsewhere in 2025 at the quarterback position.
What are the Giants doing? Do they go back to the draft and try to find a young guy, or they try to find a vet that's been backing up somebody? Like, I think that's what I would do. I don't think I would go to the draft for a quarterback.
I'll say, and I agree with you because I don't think the Giants would be bad enough to get one of the big time difference makers that would be in the upper part of the first round. You know what I mean? I see the Giants probably winning maybe 7 to 8 ball games.
Mm-hmm.
You win 7 to 8 ball games, you probably ain't gonna be in the top 5.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? And this quarterback
Unless a
class
lot,
is not as deep.
yeah,
Either.
teams in law them won 7 or 8 games.
Yeah. So I think for the Giants, you got to go back to the drawing board, see who might be available, free agents. You know, see what names available because for the Giants, as you talked about, you need a lot. And just as of late, Daniel Jones hasn't really been able to deliver. And now it's up to him. This is a judgment year for him. You live up to the bill and you stick in the Big Apple. You stay in the Big Apple. If you don't, they paid you. You got paid. Yeah. Facts. So before we let you go, Brandon, we're going to transition to the superlative part of our show. I'm going to hit you with rapid fire questions. We want your honest, unbiased answer, right? So first question I have for you, Brandon. All right. So you won 2 Super Bowls, 07 and 2011, right? A lot of fans feel like those two Super Bowl teams were great, but some people feel like the 2008 team was better. That's what a lot of Giants fans feel. They feel like that 2018 was destined for greatness. So I'll ask you this question.
It was team. It was the same team as the 2007 with some guys we added. But yeah, that 2008 we just had high confidence. We was beating up on everybody. Our point deficit of wins on all our opponents was 14 points. I think y'all were the closest game that we had throughout throughout that time.
Yeah, so I asked this question. If things stay afloat and clearly the season, and you know personally because you were there, it kind of derailed when the unfortunate incident happened with Plexico. It kind of derailed the entire chemistry of your team that led to you guys not getting to the Super Bowl. But if that didn't happen with Plexico, you guys stayed focused and stayed dialed in, would you have won a Super Bowl in 2008?
Yep, we would have beat y'all in the Super Bowl.
Huh?
I said we would have beat y'all in that Super Bowl. Because we was the number 1 seed. There's no way the Arizona Cardinals is coming from Arizona playing in 30-degree weather, of 20-degree weather to win an NFC Championship game. That wasn't gonna happen. We whooped them early in that season in Arizona, and it was a convincing win for us. Right?
It was.
Right. It was a convincing win. I think y'all were the closest game that we had throughout that season, and I think we'd have played y'all again in the Super Bowl and beat y'all.
No.
Well,
and we did play in the regular season.
And we came to Pittsburgh and beat y'all.
Yeah, well, we wasn't a full throttle team. We're dealing with injuries, even though it was a close game.
So were we.
Yeah. Hey, so that's why I want to get your opinion about that because I know a lot of Giants fans. They talk about it's funny. It's funny, Brandon, because a lot of fans talk about 08 more than the ones that y'all won. Like that was the one. We were supposed to go right back, and I'm like y'all had to come see us because we owed y'all anyway. We wanted that get back anyway, but the unfortunate incident happened. But I'm happy to hear you agree with most fans because they felt like that 08 team was better than the 2 teams you guys won the Super Bowl with.
Confidence was sky high. We had just beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl the year before.
Yep. Got a chance to go back to back.
We lose Strahan, right? We lose Strahan, but then we still got OC out there, and then we still got Justin out there. We picked up Dave Tolleson. I mean, we had Dave Tolleson like our regular team, a guy that they put out there, a role guy, go out there and still get after the quarterback, plays well in the run. Our linebacker core still strong. Our DBs were still strong. We had a really good defense. They barely gave up anything. Our offense, we had Eli leading the offense. We barely had any turnovers. We were rushing the ball crazy with me and Ahmad Bradshaw. So you either play 2 and double team Plexico and let us run and do what we want in the run game, or you bring that extra safety down in the box and we leave 6'5" Plexico Burrs open, on a guy that he's going to jump up and pretty much make a play. You had to pick your poison.
Yeah. Y'all had it roll.
Teams didn't let Plexico beat us. And then that's what it was. Plexico didn't have a great season that day. I think he only had like 420 for like 500 something yards maybe he had. But just because of the scheme of the defense and what they did, for him not to be as successful, it helped us run the football better.
Mm-hmm. No
If,
question.
if Apple was like,
Definitely a good debate. And viewers, hit us up in the comment, man. If the Giants got a chance to get to the Super Bowl in Tampa, by the way, Super Bowl 43.
Super Bowl 43.
The Super Bowl 43. Pittsburgh and the Giants. Tell us who you think would have came through with that victory. Next question I got for you. Throughout your professional career, which defender, being a big back like you were, which defender hit you the hardest in your career?
London Fletcher,
Oh,
the all-time underrated NFL linebacker,
he should be in the Hall of Fame. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Famer, played I don't even know how many years, missed I don't know how, barely missed any games. Always was the focal point of his defense, whether it was when he was with St. Louis or the Redskins or whatever. Like, this man has been on the top as far as tackles. His numbers is up there with Ray Lewis. Games played is probably one of the highest in NFL history. So he was always available for his team. Always was one of the top dogs. I call it snow route.
Why you call him that? You say you call him snow route?
No, I caught a snow route. Like,
snow route. Oh, snow route. Gotcha. Yep.
Ran the snow, turn around, caught it.
Matter of fact, hold on. Break down what a snow route is for our viewers that might not know.
So snow route is most of the time it's like a 5-yard route right over the ball, right? So if the ball's on the 35-yard line, going to the majority part of the field, we run through the line of scrimmage of our pass protection, of our pass responsibility for us protection don't come. We set up right over the ball, 5 yards, turn around, catch the ball, right? So we call that a snow route. You can't move right or left. A snow was just meant to be stable. That's it, because you got all kind of other routes going on around you, so you didn't want to get in the way of a route or bring a defender to a route that he was looking to throw the ball to. So what we did, the running back just come there and set my big body right in the middle. Everybody was covered, so Eli came to me. I caught it, turned around. I saw, what's his name, Hall.
D'Angelo.
Yeah, I saw D'Angelo Hall coming. Jumped, he dove at my legs. But as he was diving at my legs, I had to get my feet up off the ground, because if my foot gets stuck in the turf while he's diving at my legs, I'm out. I'm done. ACL. Yeah. So I get my feet up off the ground just just a little bit. And then the timing it was, London Fletcher hit me so hard. I'm talking about my feet was already like off the ground, right? And the back of my shoulder pads hit the ground, and the back of my head hit the ground first.
Were y'all in Giant Stadium or
in Giant Stadium?
On that hard turf, y'all. Yeah.
I'm talking about he exploded through me. And I couldn't defend myself because my feet was off the ground.
Yeah. He was in a vulnerable position.
I had to take it. Man. He exploded off in my chest, like everything. I was on leverage and everything, but my feet was off the ground. And he hit me so hard, man. So that's the hardest I ever got hit.
Yeah. London Fletcher, man, all-time GOAT, in my opinion. Kind of undersized, 5'10", sure tackler, durable. You talked about being always there. One of the best tackling linebackers I've ever seen. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. All right, last question I got for you before we let you go. While playing for the Giants, of course, being in the NFC East, rank the teams that you hated the most.
Dallas Cowboys.
That's one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dallas Cowboys 2.
Uh-huh.
And the Philadelphia Eagles 3.
So you got the Cowboys in there twice.
Yeah, and the Eagles 3. I didn't really the Redskins never really caused
the Commanders.
Commanders.
Yeah.
Never really caused a whole lot of racket for us. So.
And do you still hate the Cowboys? Yeah.
Absolutely. Just
as it should be. I still dislike the Browns, the Ravens, and the Bengals. That's how it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
And that's how it's supposed to be, man. True rivalries, true hatred in the game of football, divisional foes. That's how it's supposed to be. Hey, before I let you go, Brandon, you talked about your son earlier in our show. Give us a little bit about the type of prospect that your son is. You actually have two sons, so talk about your older son first, being what you say he's a left tackle. He's committed to Clemson. Give us in a little bit about what his prospect status. And do you see him fulfilling that commitment out going to Clemson?
Oh, yeah, I definitely see him, man. Braden is 6'7", 330 pounds. Very nimble kid, super athletic, strong, plays with good bend. Very coachable kid, different, super different. You ask me, I think he's the best offensive tackle in the country in his class. And I don't think it's close from some of the stuff I see him do. Playing at a really good high school. Yeah, so he's committed to Clemson. He's been wild by the Sweeney and Coach Matt Luke over there. The guy's done a great job recruiting him, and Coach Luke's still recruiting now. You know, they call him, you know, daily. Like, he's trying to see what's up, trying to, you know, sending pictures of his family and letting us know what they're doing and stuff like that. A phenomenal recruiter that they have there. Yeah, he's definitely going to fill out there. It's 90 minutes from home, so he's definitely going to Clemson. I don't think he's going to flip to go anywhere else.
Unless Nick Saban comes back in college football.
If Saban come back to college football, then we're going to Clemson.
And your younger son, also, he plays ball too, right?
My youngest son, he sat out last year as an 8th grader. Now he's going to 9th grade like this year. He ended up getting surgery in February. He had he had deteriorating cartilage in his knees. So we had to get a cadaver for him as far as cartilage is concerned. So I'm gonna sit him out again this year. But he's my athlete, big kid. Like right now he's 14. He just turned 14 in March. He sits at like 6'2", like 210. Right now, he's gonna play defensive end. He's gonna be a difference maker when it comes down to it. He's gonna be a difference maker. It's gonna be hard to block him.
Man, I know your grocery bills be high.
Crazy because we eat pretty good around here, man. Like it's not crazy. My oldest, again, he don't eat a lot of crazy stuff. And again, my oldest son is Braden Jacobs, and my youngest son is Quinn Jacobs. So Quinn is going to be he's going to be a difference maker on the football field on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, you're doing some good things, man. You're doing some good things, man. Great career, and you got 2 sons that doing things the right way, regardless in which direction they're going. They got proper guidance from you and your beautiful wife as well. So thank you for joining us here. All Things Covered, no other than the great Brandon Jacobs, 2-time Super Bowl champion. I guess we might as well get ready to see you with them Clemson Tiger colors on in the near future.
You already know it, man. I got some stuff. I'm working on making some stuff right now, man. So you're going to see it coming, man. Clemson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, thank you for joining us here, man. Hope you enjoy the rest of your summer as you get ready for football. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Peace.
All right, B.
Yeah, money, 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 money. Ain't that funny? I got haters. Yeah, they watching, but I know they love me. Money, 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 money. Ain't that funny? I got haters. Yeah, they watching, but I know they love me. Riding around the city, plastic cup of C-Rock. Bigger and I'm blacker. I am on that Chris Rock.